Welcome to Interesting Enough. He is Trey. I am Nolan. Thank you guys so much for joining us once again. This is your first time listening to the podcast. Thank you. We got our special guest back. Trey, man, what's going on? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. I'm happy to have a special guest here today. Let them introduce themselves.
Yeah, so we haven't brought him on in a while, actually. I think probably might be since the beginning of the season. So we had to, get the troops together. We got JP, man. Thanks for coming back.
Yes, man. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back. Glad to talk basketball. Let's get it.
And of course, back by popular demand with the crazy takes, unplanned. Jesse, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling unpredictable as always. I'm excited and I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. So we got a lot of stuff to get into. So we were obviously chopping it up before the pod. So we'll get into competition committee with the NBA. We'll talk some women's basketball. We'll talk what's really going on around the league. But Trey, you wanted to start with some non-basketball, and you want to start with some fast food. So why don't you kind of tee this up here so we could talk about what's going on with Wendy's?
Okay, so everybody knows the fast food chain Wendy's. And earlier this past week, an article came out on Bloomberg that Wendy's they were going to start something called surge pricing, which if anybody's used Uber before, you know that during the holidays or during big events in town, Uber's pricing can change. It can vary. Like a price can even be different on Monday as compared to Saturday night. It might be a little bit more expensive. Well, Wendy's was going to do that as well. They said that during rush hour, let's just say between 11 and 1 o'clock during Monday and Friday during the lunch period, that the prices were going to be a little bit more expensive because that was their busier period. Well, it comes out that everybody's in pretty much total disagreement with this. They get slandered all through Twitter and every other online space, and they had to kind of renege. They basically said that we're not going to do this anymore. But I kind of just wanted you guys' thoughts and opinions on it. Like, if they had to went through with this idea, would you have still went to Wendy's? Would you have even cared, or would you been okay with it?
Wait, hold on. So Trey, they reneged it from the time you sent it to us, because Trey
Correct.
sent this article like probably a couple weeks ago. So we've been kind of saving this topic. So they reneged it since you sent it.
Correct. Yeah, they reneged it since we sent it. But hold up, this is where they tried to get tricky. They kind of switched up their words. They're like, but we still might change prices daily, just depending on our feel. Like, it just depending on how we feel, pretty much. So they're still probably going to do it, but they're not going to call it surge pricing anymore. They kind of left themselves out.
Okay, so JP, what's your thoughts on it first? Because I got some thoughts. I'm gonna just hold it. But what's your thoughts on the surge pricing when it comes to fast food? Or do you not care about it?
No, I care about it because as much as I be trying not to eat fast food, it's quick. I don't know how long y'all lunch breaks be. I get about an hour, so I'm just trying to get something to eat and get back. So I didn't like it because if Wendy's started it and they're not even the most popular, what's stopping McDonald's? What's stopping Burger King? What's stopping Zaxby's? It was stopping any of them from starting this. So I didn't like it because it was trending in my mind. It trended towards the other fast food places are now going to adapt this model too, and that might be the reason I actually do stop eating fast food.
So, I mean, that could be a good thing too. Hey, honestly, when you put it like that, it's not the worst thing in the world. Jesse, what do you think?
This is genius. And I say this, so listen, I look at data all day long and seeing how things impact sales and seeing kind of how we profit. So I want to just go through scenario like JP would just say right here, lunch break, going to get food. Sometimes it's based off proximity, right? Which you may have a taste for. You go in line, you order. Now, I don't know how many people are going to do this, but no one's researching, I wonder what the price is. No, they just see something. Maybe they see the price, maybe they don't, and they buy it. Now, if you increase your price by 50 cents to $1.50, and you know what time to do this, and you know that in terms of volume, people aren't getting out of line. This is 50 cents over price. I ain't getting this. No, someone's still going to buy it. And then they buying it.
First of all, you can't reverse in a drive-through anyway, so you're stuck. But go ahead. You know how some of them drive-throughs have the actual borders too, where you can't get out. Like you really not getting out.
Hey, I'm ordering this, but I ain't gonna buy it. All right, so just
I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna stay here till the prices go down. So I don't know what you're gonna do.
Well, I mean, you have to keep driving. So basically, what's gonna happen is, Trey,
I don't have to keep driving.
What you mean? It's people in front of you and behind you.
And I'm gonna hold that thing down. I don't know what you not hearing.
Right, just go and park. Like, if you want to do that, why don't you sit in the drive-through and do that?
oh my gosh.
But,
I can see you doing that,
Genius.
Trey. Yeah.
This is genius, and I think if they don't have a negative impact on sales, I think other chains. Honestly, it's like the future, bro. This on some robotic stuff, boy.
Please don't say that, man.
If this the future, y'all need to start applying for these jobs now, so y'all can go ahead and get that bag.
But I'm gonna be real. If Jesse, I believe you're right, because if you're gonna go get fast food, like even in JP's scenario, it's a lunch break. Just think about any of the times where you go get fast food. You're not really like, unless it's some like exorbitant like price difference, you basically just gonna get it. Like, it's not really like what point are you gonna be like, oh, I noticed that was $1 more than yesterday? Like, you're still probably gonna get it, or you could just order something else. But the point is, you're still there, and you probably still gonna get something.
Yeah.
Like, even if the item that you normally get is more expensive, you're gonna still end up ordering. You in the drive-thru. You probably in the drive-thru because, like JP said, it's fast food. You needed the food fast. Like, so you probably still gonna get it. So if I'm them, I'm like, why not up the prices? Trey, you talking about you're not gonna go anymore, but I think most people would still go.
And Trey talking about waiting in line and saying, "Hey, that service price changed in 15 minutes, right?" Yeah, I'm here.
No, but even like the average person, let's say Trey, you're not going fast food very often. The one time you do go, you gotta think of all the people that do that same exact thing. And if you're able to capture a good, like 5% of those people, let's say, and you still have that $1 more, like you annually, like it's gonna make a big difference.
It's gonna make a difference. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just talking because I'm the person that say, "Oh, I'm gonna cancel Netflix when they went up." Guess what? I still got Netflix.
Exactly. It's smart. It's interesting to see how it happens though, because if they get out of hand with it, boy, they gonna suffer.
I mean, I hope so, because I can see Walmart or even Target. I can see some of these other stores being like, "Oh."
Of all stores, bro. Because just imagine they just change the sticker and add a 50 or $1, and man, it's over. It's over. It's literally
Bro,
over.
what about the surge prices if they do this? Like, you trying to buy wings for the Super Bowl or something?
Boy, you better buy it.
Oh, stop! Yeah, you done. You toast.
Get your shopping during off time, so you know it's got lower prices. I'm gonna have a website, boy. This time.
You get a tracker, kind of like Gas Buddy with the gas price. You just get a little tracker, find out what it is. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, if it's fast food, you could probably, I mean, in our heads, we could probably figure out what times they probably are surging the prices. Lunchtime, late night, like, you know what I mean?
They're gonna do it. It's for those that ain't gonna figure it out. That's the whole purpose, you know.
I mean, and my other question would be, like, I'm just gonna end it off on this. What about, like, let's say you live in Miami, Nolan, and then let's say it's the NBA Finals. Are they going to do surge pricing for stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I mean, to be honest with you, so like, you know, like Papa John's and stuff, they do the 50% off when like the Heat win, or like the Marlins, like some of those local teams win. So they do that already.
No, I'm talking about going up. I ain't talking about going down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they already do that going down, they definitely probably gonna do it going up for whatever specific scenario. Because I just think the logic is these companies are so big that are making so much money. Like, if you're McDonald's, if you're Wendy's, like, they're making so much money, these franchises. Like, why would you not do it? It's not like you can lose your base off of like I said. Now, if you just went up there, they're not dumb. They're not gonna just go up there and just up it, like, because they're going to a certain clientele that's trying to pay cheap as well too. So like, they're not gonna make it ridiculous, but they're just gonna see how much they can get away with.
Nah, make it ridiculous. Because imagine, like, for me, I think of Orlando, and you know that area where all the theme parks at, and then you got right near it where the hotels and stuff. You do surge pricing over there, you are making money. It is going to be wild.
Yeah. But I think you could do it almost regardless of location, because if you're a Popeyes, if you're a Burger King, if you're like those places, you know, I think you could do it regardless. Like I always talk about, like, where I grew up, you know, we talk about this kind of goes deeper, like economics of food. Like, you know, where I grew up, there wasn't healthy food options, right? So there's like McDonald's and stuff like that, and KFCs and Popeyes. Where we from, like, we eat that food because that's also what's closest, that's what's cheapest, besides going to the grocery store, obviously. So like, people are still gonna buy it. Like I promise you, people will still it's still gonna end up buying it. Like no matter what it is. I mean, heck, people still go to McDonald's for the ice cream machine. They know it's not gonna be working, but they still go. Like people still gonna do what they do, bro. Like come on. People gonna do what they do. So I mean,
until the buyer gets smarter, the person selling is just gonna try to take advantage. That's how it is.
Right, exactly. But yeah, we'll keep tabs on that. But let's get some basketball because I wanted to touch on a couple things while y'all here. Before we even get to all the games and stuff what we've been going on, let's talk about Bronny. Trey, you know how I feel about your boy Bron tweeting. And your boy Bron was tweeting and complaining. Like Drake says, the tweeters and deleters. He did tweet it and deleted it, talking about Bronny and why we should just let him play basketball because apparently mock drafts have just started this year when Bronny was on a mock draft, but that's neither here nor there. I really wanted, you guys can take this kind of wherever you want, but I wanted to throw it I'll throw to you, Jesse, first, since we threw it JP last time. What's your overall thinking on Bronny's future? And what I mean by that is, what are some realistic expectations going forward? Like, so this could mean where he's going to get drafted, undrafted teams, staying in college a couple years, because I think sometimes we get lost in just obviously the figure that he is and like Bron's son and stuff like that. And he had the obviously serious medical issues. So like, as a guy that I haven't watched a bunch of Bronny games, I've watched a couple here and there. He's looked pretty good, but again, he's a freshman. I'm not holding too much stock into it. What do you realistically see?
Stop calling him Bronny James and think of him as Darrell Wright.
I'm dead.
That's my NBA comp. No, for real. He's athletic. He can play defense. Maybe he'll get a few points, but his name is kind of messing him up. Mm-hmm. So he's a good player. He's not a superstar. He's not a first-round pick. He ain't a game-changing type of player. He's a good basketball player. You put him anywhere else, you're like, oh, yeah, he's nice. That's my dog right there. But you're not like, oh, he out here leading the team. No, he's a nice bench player who gets minutes because of his name, who maybe after 3-4 years in college, he could be a second-round undrafted type of guy that would, in the normal scenario, be bouncing from team to team, but still be like a 7 to 10 year type of guy that nobody knows. So I say Darrell Wright is my comp.
Okay, and then JP, what I wanted to ask you is there a scenario where Bronny doesn't play with LeBron? Because I don't think that there's a scenario. I think that they're just going to find a way to make it happen. Do you think Bron will be okay with Bronny just playing somewhere else?
I think, yeah, there is a scenario. I think that one's growing more and more, and I think that's the reason why the tweet came out, because LeBron got to sign his extension, and that's the problem. He was holding out, hoping that Bronny could be a one-and-done guy, but obviously he's not. And do you want him to have the Jello path like from the Ball Brothers?
He ain't that bad.
Nah, but like, come on now. Like he at the start of the year, they were saying late first round. Now he's not even on the draft boards. Mm-hmm. They said he got to come back another year.
Yeah.
And LeBron's ultimate goal is to play with his sons, but like it's looking like wherever he may go, LeBron ain't gonna be there with him.
And Trey, I want to just before you follow up on this. Oh, Trey, actually, I'm just gonna ask you direct. Why is LeBron tweeting this? Because this is your boy, and you usually try to defend him when you think it's fair. I mean, is he out of bounds on this? Because you know how I feel, but I just want to make sure I'm looking at this correctly.
I mean, yeah, he's kind of out of bounds on this because he's one of the main ones that put all this hype behind Bronny. Not to say that the hype wasn't going to be there, but I mean, he definitely added something else to it. So I mean, he's one of the main reasons for why everybody keeps talking about Bronny and why they keep speculating him possibly being in the first round. And like he said, now
he could play on this team right now. Remember when he said that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was just wrong. I mean, just running his mouth. I'm not going to defend LeBron on this. What I will say, though, is in Bronny's case, I do think he needs to come back for another year. And we do have to keep in mind, like, the dude went into cardiac arrest before the season started. So, like, I always thought that this year was going to be tricky anyway. And I don't think he was the best player, in college basketball to begin with. So, with that being said, I think that it's going to take another year regardless. But just because of the circumstances of how this year started, I think without a doubt he needs another year of seasoning under him.
Okay, but what I also wanted to bring up is because Jesse, you saying for sure, and anybody can chime in here, you saying for sure he's got to be a 4-year guy. There's no scenario where he just gets rapid improvement in a year or so because he didn't have really a full offseason. And I know right now he can play defense and is athletic. That you can see that right away. But
unless he got Kawhi Leonard's people, we ain't seeing nothing crazy happening anytime soon.
Yeah, Kawhi was different. But Kawhi's also a lot bigger too. Like you said, he's like a forward. So
What's y'all NBA comp on him? I guess right now.
Who,
yeah,
Bronny?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's tough because he's only what 6'2", 6'3"?
Darrell.
Yeah.
Now Darrell Wright's a forward. You talking about DeLon, right?
Delon, my fault. Thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
thank you. That's what
I knew who you was talking about. You
I appreciate y'all.
I figured you was too, but I was like, okay, yeah. I mean,
Honestly, like right now, I'm gonna say Scoot Henderson, and I think he would be looking just like
What?
Scoot does right
no,
now.
no,
What
Trey,
the
you
boy
wildin'. Trey,
Trey?
you
What is
wildin'.
No, 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 no,
Trey, you
no, no.
wildin'.
Trey?
Stop. Scoot has more potential, but I'm talking about how bad Scoot is look right now. That's how he would look in the NBA
Nah,
Trey,
right now.
Trey,
Scoot
have
is
you
still.
watched the Bronny game? Have you watched the Bronny game?
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't shoot enough. Like I watched the Bronny
How he
game.
gonna average? The Scoot average like 12, 14 a game. This man averaged like 4 or 5 in college. How he gonna do that in the NBA?
Yeah, but when Scoot averages 12 points a game, he's like 4 16. I think
Scoot
Bronny
can't
could do
shoot.
that now.
Scoot can't shoot, but Bronny can't score. There's a difference.
Okay. Also, too, to be fair, I'm gonna defend Scoot a little bit. Not a great situation in Portland. He hasn't played as well as he thought, but Scoot is also in a weird thing where he's like an athletic guard, but he's trying to like really play like pass first in a way. Like he's not naturally like a guy that's trying to go get buckets like D Rose or Westbrook. Like he doesn't have the same like he's a dog, but like he tries to play basketball in a different way. Where I think he could score more if he just decided he wanted to score more. And obviously he's got to improve on his jumper. But Scoot would have tore up some colleges if he was playing in college. He would have tore up some colleges for sure. Like
What's
I
y'all
know
NBA comp? Nolan and JP for Brownie.
I don't want to say the DeLon Wright because I mean I love DeLon Wright, but like
for real though, realistically, come on now.
I just think his ceiling is higher than DeLon Wright. But then I got to remember what we thought DeLon Wright's ceiling was at the time. So
All right, nice. I ain't saying he trash. Y'all just taking it because it's LeBron's kid and just
Yeah,
talk about
and
but
that's
like,
why
for
it's
real.
hard for me to say something. That's why it's hard.
But
'Cause I'm like,
honestly, what do you think right now? If it wasn't his name and it was his game,
oh, he coming back to college for at least 3 years.
NBA comp though. What's your NBA comp?
you know
Gary
what?
Payton Jr.
Okay, I can see that. Nolan
You said Gary Payton?
Jr.
Junior. There's a big difference.
I know it was Junior, man. Yeah, I'm both at the attack for Junior. You're like, hey, just to make sure. I don't sound crazy. Junior.
My bad,
No,
my bad. Bro.
No, that's a good comp. Nolan, what you got?
Okay. This is my comp what I think his ceiling could be. I think Malcolm Brogdon. And here's why I say it.
Hold on, y'all said my Scoot Henderson tape was crazy.
No,
Listen.
let me just defend it, and then y'all go where we want with it.
But yes, Trey.
Malcolm Brogdon was a great defender in college. He won ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Bronny is an excellent defender, and I think he can even be an even better defender. Malcolm Brogdon can shoot the three-pointer. So can Bronny when it's an open shot. Both of them are not really much of creators when it talks about getting to the paint and like creating a bunch of shots, but they can hit open shots, they can play defense, and they can pass well enough. They're not necessarily going to be like a top 10 guy in assists, but they're just solid players that you'd want on their team that can play a role. I think Malcolm Brogdon, I think that would be like his ceiling. I'm not saying that's what he is today, but like if he ends up being like a Malcolm Brogdon guy, I can totally see that. And he's more athletic than Malcolm Brogdon, so I'll even give him that too.
Now, Trey is correct in calling you crazy, and I just want to bring out one thing. Malcolm Brogdon, senior stats, man averaged 18 points a game. I remember watching him. I'm pretty sure he was ACC Player of the Year.
Yeah, I watched him too.
Ain't no way in the world Bronny can have any of those college accolades. I just want to make sure we're clear on that. But I like the comment.
But again, keyword what you said. What Malcolm Brogdon did as a senior.
I know.
You're asking me. I'm just saying potential.
I hear you. I like the NBA.
There's a world in 2 years that Bronny could be averaging 18 points a game in college. I think that world's realistic.
Unless this man got a Dennis Rodman story, he grow another 5-7 inches out of nowhere.
I mean,
Donnell. Or Darrell, I don't know his name. I still don't know nobody's name.
Malcolm Brogdon was a role player in the first couple years in college.
Malcolm Brogdon was Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. He
You
just
saying
had
I'm
a
saying,
bad
but he
fallout.
also was a role player as a freshman in college.
This man Bronny will get 0 NBA awards unless it is effort
Oh my
related,
god,
and they
Wow.
make a new reward for him.
that's crazy.
For real. No, we talking about a kid that averaged 5 a game right
But
now.
we're
Come
talking
on.
you
A
asking me.
bench player on a team that is sorry, the worst team in
Okay,
the
you
conference.
asked me, but a player comp of his potential, or what player comp what he is today?
That's what I was
Listen,
gonna get to because I was like, I think I
Because which one are you
misunderstood
asking?
the question.
Today he is who he is, so it was just potential, I guess.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. Yeah, today he's not Malcolm Brogdon. I'm just saying I can see a world. I guess
I
I'm a
hear you.
little bit. I got higher hope in his potential. I just think he
I
didn't
do
really have an
too.
off season. So
I do too.
we'll pay
Okay,
attention
then if we talking about potential, I can see Eric Bledsoe.
What?
to
Actually, that ain't bad, Trey. I ain't gonna lie. That
Yeah.
ain't bad. But he not a score first type of dude. That's the only problem. Eric Bledsoe, that boy, he was pissed off playing with John Wall in college. So when he got to the league, he was chucking.
Yeah, no, he was. He was. Yeah, he got to that league. He was letting it go. He was letting it go for sure. But speaking of, well, actually, let's talk about the NBA competition committee stuff because we were talking about that before we got on. So obviously, everybody's tripping with the offensive like scoring surge, and I think we like it as fans. And I've heard people talk about some of the things that they would like to see change if it changes. So here's some of the ideas, Jesse, JP. I know if you guys haven't heard it, these are some of the ideas people were throwing out to make the game easier because we've heard people complain that it's so hard to play defense with the guys foul baiting, with the pace of the play, the 3-point line. Everybody can shoot now. All of these different things. So there's options here. So I'm gonna throw out I'm gonna throw out some options what we've heard, and you guys just tell me if you think it works. So let's just go one by one from what I've seen, and then Trey add on anything that I'm missing as well too. So the first question we got to ask is, do we really? And I'm gonna ask y'all, do we really want more defense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so
please.
tell me why you would want more defense in terms of. And now remember, y'all are hoop heads, so I know I'm asking you. Maybe the general fan probably just wants offense, but you know, JP, why would you want more if you want more defense? Why would you want more defense in the game? Because I think that's a legit question before we even get to like what the changes could be.
I just want to be able to kind of compare the eras again. That's the whole reason.
Okay.
That's the whole reason why we really can't compare LeBron to Jordan, right? Because different eras, different rule changes.
Right. That's fair. No, that's fair. Trey.
I would say that my main thing is just that the game isn't as fun to watch when everybody's scoring 180 points or when anybody can have 70 points. I remember when Kobe had 81 in 2006, that it felt like 100 points. We were all in amazement. Now just like, if you're a star player, yeah, you can get 70 points and that's not really that
No,
feasible to like imagine.
70 points is, but I'll let you go. 70 points is still OD to me. I think the problem is I don't think there's as much of a, and I guess Jesse, you tell me how you feel about this. I don't think there's much of a big deal when you say, oh, a guy's a 20-point scorer in the NBA anymore. Like, you know how many guys average 20 points a game in the NBA? Like, it's so many guys. If you just get enough touches, even if you're on a bad team, you can average 20 points a game. Like, it's more impressive to me when I see a guy averaging 28 to 30 in the league. But if you averaging 20, it's a bunch of guys in the league that score 20. But what do you think, Jesse? Like, would you want more defense in the game?
You know I love some defense. And there's two things. Number one, we have too many changes every year because people are creating literally moves to draw a foul. Again,
Yep.
the people are KD, your James Harden, like people are creating moves to draw a foul. So with that being said, people should be allowed to add some sort of we call it some enhancers on their defense, where again you could be grabbing a little bit on the hip. You should be able to use your hands to stop someone from moving from a fast distance and a fast by. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be able to like hand check, hips, hands on hips, like things like this. Just because the game the way it is offensively, it's a drastic shift that's happened where it's not even you can't like JP said you can't compare the generations because like first off offensively the game has changed so much, people are so much more talented, but then defensively you can't do as much, and if you keep putting restrictions on you can't do this, you can't, there ain't no point in playing defense at this point, which is what you see now today.
Mm-hmm. So that was one of the points. So I was going to bring that up. So that was perfect. The hand checking thing. Do we want hand checking back as one of the options? And to be clear, for people that don't know how the hand check used to work, you used to be able to hand check, and what that is what Jesse described. Putting your hands on a guy's hip, but you got to put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. You can't just keep it there the whole time. And it used to not be in the scoring areas, and then it used to be like, oh, it just at half court. So it wasn't like the entire game. So don't let these like folks in the 70s and 80s act like they were just mugging people the whole time. That's not how it worked. So I think to answer my own question, I like the hand checking idea. I just think it would be very hard to find guys like that would not abuse it, and then like how long can you have the hand on there? I just think it can get like very convoluted. But I mean, Jesse, JP, Trey, like, what do you guys think? If this hand checking like a legitimate thing, you think that you can use in this day and age because how strong these guys are?
Yeah, because we watch FIBA every year, like when America got to play the rest of the world, and they got to relearn everything. They still be scoring pretty decent amount with the hand check rule the way it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's beneficial.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's something you could at least consider. I think it's still beneficial, and I think if you rep it correctly, like you say, you have to put your hand off and then take it. I mean, you have to put your hand on them and then take it off. If you kind of rep it correctly, I think that the scoring will still be there while you also have the semblance of some defense being played.
Okay, I got another one. How about the offensive foul for players initiating contact? And I guess we'd have to be more specific, especially the ones guys are just going straight because they see a guy in a compromised position that has nothing to do with the play. Should those be offensive fouls?
Yeah, I mean that's how the NBA. That's how they started off this season. Remember, they said they were going to call offensive fouls, and they did it for like the first 2 weeks, and then it just seems like everybody, including the refs, forgot about that. But yeah, that should be an offensive foul. If I'm going to lunge my shoulder or my elbow into you just to draw a foul, I'm making illegal contact with you without the intention of actually trying to score the ball.
But how do we?
How do you determine that?
Yeah, how do you determine that?
Close game
It's going to be
situation?
subjective.
Close game situation, like playoff scenario, not even like the finals, like this game 7 of round 1. Like you gotta.
But to me,
yeah.
To me, I was going to say, to me, it's kind of subjective. It's kind of like what's pass interference or what's holding in the NFL. I mean, we know it when we see it, but it's kind of subjective. I think that it would be something similar to that. And I'm not going to say that you're not going to end up in a predicament where it's game 7 and the refs are going to make a controversial call. It's going to happen, but I still think that the outcome and the results will be better than what we have now.
The problem is, and I'll let you go, Jesse. The problem is in the NFL, you can't argue back for calls, and you also can't review calls. And in the NBA, we got the reviews now. You got players are gonna already arguing like for every little thing. You can be like, it's gonna be a million technical fouls with guys complaining about that. What do you think, Jesse?
I think number one, there shouldn't be any more allowing offensive players to put their open hand on a defender's hip. I think that'll change a lot. When you think of crossovers and like your Hardens, whoever it may be, people crossing over, they literally are putting hands on hips and shoving.
yeah, for real.
So that needs
those snapbacks are vicious these days.
And then number two, if you are going to the basket, you should not be able to extend your arms away from the basket to draw contact or move somebody. So I think that'll like change things. No, for real. Like,
I got a couple players in my head that I literally saw do this week. So yeah.
So it's like when you see those movements, it's like that's an offensive foul, and that'll change a lot of scoring.
All right, I'll throw another one this way. How about the FIBA goaltending rules? JP, you just talked about FIBA rules. How about getting the ball off the rim? If the ball is bouncing on the rim, we can snatch it and get the defensive rebound and we're out of here, right? So that would still increase maybe the pace of play and then also stop a couple baskets. What do y'all think? No,
that one I'm not too much of a fan of. No, you know what? I like it. I like it because I was just thinking about all the threes that they chucking up. I'm like, yeah, this ain't going in. Let me grab this.
I'm talking about the ones, especially the ones that's be bouncing.
Kawhi would have never got that ring, dog. No.
And B would have took it away.
Yo, that ball would have got snatched so quick. Hey, for real though.
History.
I like
but
that
I do want to
for the pace of play, yeah.
I do want to ask a question on all this. Let's say they were able to implement like 1 or 2 rules. I just wanted your guys' opinions. Which one player or 2 players do you think would be mostly affected by it? Like, do you think it would be Steph Curry? Like, whose numbers would drop significantly?
With which rule?
I think.
Let's just say hand checking and then the offensive foul. Let's just go the first 2 that you named out.
I think the hand checking those smaller guards.
Yeah, every small guard is gonna suffer.
Drew Holiday is gonna have Trae Young in jail.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, and Trae Young is fine. It's not like Trae Young is not gonna score. He gonna figure it out. But like that, JP, when we was talking about before we got on here, the difference between Trae Young and Luka, you'd find out what the difference is real quick.
Yeah.
You got some hand checking.
We'll be like,
You find out real quick what the difference would be if you had that. But yeah, there's those like Drew Holidays, those like strong guards, man. But honestly, you know how you have some of these guards that they're not in the NBA as much anymore because they can't shoot or whatever. And Drew Holiday can shoot, so it's a bad example. You may get some guys that's like physical guards that maybe are in the G League and stuff, and like they're not great shooters, but you'll have a place in the league. Jesse DeLon Wright, even though he's in the league now, he'd have a really big role in the league.
Yeah,
if it was like hand checking, because he's like a big defender that's long that could like guard. So I don't know.
plus, I think you'll see that Chris Paul type point guard, Rondo, those pass first guys that can literally handle it. Like the reason they left is because they couldn't shoot. For real. So now you need them back.
Yeah, I like that too. And then I'll throw a couple other rules that we heard out there, and then we can kind of go wherever with this. So we got defense of 3 seconds. We'll see how you guys feel about that if we just eliminate that altogether. And then the other one is, how about just move the 3-point line back? Move the 3-point line back. What do y'all think about any of those?
I'm going to say no to both because, first off, there's too many tall people to be playing around not having no 3 seconds in the key. Wemby already averaged 3.5 blocks. You want them to average 8 blocks a game? Like, oh, no. Spurs, boy, they're going to get 5 more wins a year just because of that.
Well, you said you want more defense, so, I mean, I'm giving you more defense.
I didn't say I didn't want less defense of 3 seconds. I said I wanted defense.
Jesse just don't want 200-point All-Star games no more, man.
And that 3-point line going back, that's gonna be that. People already shoot at poor percentages as it is. No.
But here's my thing. Here's my argument. Well, one, I have heard the thing that's a little radical. They say cut out the corner 3 because the corner 3 is the most efficient one. I have heard that like the corners, you just cut that off and there's no 3-pointers there. I'm okay with that idea.
Nolan, do you still like Ray Allen, boy? You still like the Heat? You better keep that corner 3.
But Ray Allen can shoot from anywhere though. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
there goes your ring, Nolan. There goes your ring.
Okay, but let me just throw a thing out there. We talked the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're trying to get Evan Mobley to shoot corner 3s because we saw what happened last year in the playoffs. Well, there ain't no corner 3. It's just a mid range for you, dog. You might as well just get like Haslam. Just shoot mid-range jumpers because that's all it's going to count as. I think that can eliminate some of the scoring. And then second, if you move the 3-point line back, and Trey, tell me how you feel about this. If you actually move the 3-point line back, we see all these teams that shoot so many 3-point attempts a game. Some efficient, some not. If you bring it further back, you're now penalizing teams. You're like, hey, you could shoot 40 or 50 3-point attempts a night, but are you going to be bricking so many where it's not going to matter as much? You know, I think that's a legit argument because there's only a certain handful of guys that even shoot that deep on a regular basis anyway. And if guys want to shoot that far, that's on them.
I kind of like the idea, but my only fear is kind of what Jesse said, that like the game gets too slogged down. Like we went from one extreme from the offense to the other extreme of defense, and now we just get these 65, 70 score games like it's 2004. And I don't want that either because that wasn't fun to watch.
Moving the line 10 feet back though. I mean,
I know, but I'm just saying if it's like let's just say a foot or 2 back, again, coaches are going to emphasize, well, let's not shoot that and let's just everybody attack the paint. Let's just be really physical about it. And I can just see the game getting really ugly just because of that.
Wait, hold on. I do want to say this. You can still play basketball in the same way and drive and kick, but it'll just be a 2.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what we want, right? Like we don't want guys to stop scoring. We just don't want it to be like so detrimental to that way. It's just bombing 3s. Like, how many of y'all, we watch an NBA game multiple times a week. What happens when y'all see a 20-point lead in the second quarter? You're not even worried. You know why? Because it's 3-pointers. You like, this team can hit a couple 3s and they'll be right back in this game. Like, nobody's really like tripping until you like actually get late into a game that the team can't come back. And you don't even have to be that great of a shooting team. You just got to shoot enough shots and it'll go in. I think if you're putting the line that far back, if a guy wants to shoot that far, I feel like coaches will be like, you do not need to be shooting those shots that far unless you're one of them guys. That's the way I look at it.
I'm not going to debate you, but like you say, the fear is we go from one extreme to another, and we want a happy balance, and I just don't want to go too far egregious on the other end.
Okay, so what's the solution? if y'all said y'all want defense, everybody give me a solution that you think is realistic that you want to see. So Jesse,
I
what's
say
your
hand
solution?
checking.
Okay,
Yeah.
Trey, hand checking. Okay, you want hand check out of all those rules. Okay, Jesse.
No more offensive creating contact fouls that go and penalize the defense.
Okay. Okay, so that's the number one thing you would change. Okay, JP.
Hand checking.
So 2 hand checking. All right. Now,
The hand check may get out of hand, man. That's all I'm thinking.
yeah, I feel like that hand check is gonna get crazy. I feel like that hand check is gonna get crazy.
You gonna see people that never would have been the NBA and NBA boys, straight thugs.
Hey, Isaiah Stewart gonna be all out there hand checking everybody.
But yeah, man. Okay, I like those ideas. I'm interested to see if they're actually gonna make any of the changes, but I think they just put it out there to kind of see for people like us to have these conversations on it to see what people would like or not. But just real quick, I wanted to get y'all, JP and Jesse specifically, you guys' thoughts, because Trey and I had that long discussion. I think it was last pod or a couple pods back about the face of the NBA. I don't know if you guys have put any thought into it, but we were kind of just basically saying we don't know who the next face of the NBA is. There's guys that we think have a chance to. There's some non-American guys for the first time that have a chance to be the face of the NBA. I'll swing it to you, JP, first. Is there any guy that you think can be the face of the NBA upcoming? I'm assuming when LeBron and Curry is, or do you think we're going to have some low period where there is no guy? You know, like what's your stance on that?
I think it's the no real face is just by committee, like whoever wins. Hey, this your year to be in all our NBA commercials and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as everybody was saying Anthony Edwards, the Olympic time is coming up. Do you think he gonna make the Olympic team?
Well, I think he will make it, but your point is it stands like your point is fair. The fact that we have to question it is,
Yeah.
I guess, is the point. He may make the team, but like it's not a like a given, which is kind of fair. That's fair. Jesse.
So first, I think there's multiple faces no matter what, but what's going to change it? Because there's only way there's a face of the NBA, and that's a person that wins multiple rings, doing 3-peats and 4-peats. And the problem is too many black people like the NBA, so they don't want the white person to be the face of the NBA no more. Because again, that's not anymore, but it's honestly Jokic, and people don't want to admit it.
Well, but we've never had a white face in the NBA though, to be real.
I mean, before there was black people in the league, that's all it was.
Okay, I mean, I'm talking about
modern. Oh, you talking about the logo and then Larry when he shared it with Magic?
Right,
okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm saying because y'all looking for Jordan, y'all looking for Kobe, LeBron, Curry, like it's all about who's winning. So I'll be honest, the Denver Nuggets, them boys, they're not gonna start just losing out of nowhere. But I think it's Jokic.
But see, I don't think that's fair. Let me say this. It's 2 things. One, Jokic really doesn't want to be the face, and like that's cool and all. I understand that you really don't really care about basketball that much, but I mean that's not appealing to fans, not all fans at least. And then 2, Jokic, even though he's a white guy, he's European. It's not like let's say Cooper Flag was to come in next year and take the league in storm or take off. I think he could be the face, but I think that us Americans, we want an American white guy. I don't think we're gonna be satisfied with a Jokic or Dirk or Steve Nash or any other name.
That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, Trey, that's what I'm trying to say. Like they don't want to see it, but it's here.
Yeah. But what's the thought that since when if we wanted an American white guy to be the face of the league?
Never. But if you can't have a black one, you got to have a white one.
I'm just saying American, like for sure. But I just don't know if it has to be. I don't know. The only thing I disagree with you, Jesse, is I don't know if it has to be the guy that's winning. Because LeBron wasn't the face of the league when he was winning championship. He was the face of the league before that. I mean, there's been other guys that was winning championships, I guess.
So when you say face of the league, I guess who are your previous face of the league, and what do they all have in common?
Okay, so in the modern era, I'll give you. There's only been like 6 or 7 faces of the league. So you got Kareem. Even if you want to go back, Dr. J, right? So you can do Dr. J if you want. You can do Kareem, and then from Kareem, Wilt, whatever. Or I guess Wilt would be Russell. So whatever. 2, Magic, if you want to count Magic and Bird. Jordan, if you want to count Shaq and Kobe together after the Jordan era, but then there was like that lull for a couple years, and then LeBron. I don't really think Kobe ever had the full face of the league because he was going through stuff at the time. But whatever, you're going to put Kobe in there, LeBron, Kobe. Then you got Curry, and still LeBron.
So everyone, as a committee, what was the one thing all of these people had multiple of?
They all eventually have multiple championships, but not at the
So if
time.
you ain't got listen. If you ain't out here getting rings, you cannot be the face of the league.
Wait, can I counter? What if you are competing and getting to conference finals, championships? Maybe you win one, not multiple, but you're in the conversation every year.
So
Like
I love
Giannis.
T-Mac. I love Carmelo, but at no point.
No.
unfortunately-
Those guys were never in no ring conversation though.
So again, that's the problem. Is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're not out here in no ring conversation, you can't be in no face of the league.
No, yeah,
conversation.
that's what I'm asking. I'm saying you got to be in the ring
So
conversation.
we got Giannis, we got Jokic. People just don't want to see it.
I mean, you got to be in the ring conversation. Like Melo and T-Mac were losing in the first round. Like I'm talking about like guys that you have to. I agree. You got to at least have a ring. I'll give you that. You got to
I
at least
think
have.
they don't want to see it. It's international folks, like Trey said. People don't want to see it. Giannis and Jokic and Luka.
Can I throw? Can I throw John Zion if they get it together?
Boy, I love John Zion, but they not there.
But that's what he
Nah.
said. If they get it together,
If they get it together.
But
yeah.
can they get with Zion? I feel like Zion misses window. Like JP, how you feel about it? Because I feel like Zion misses window.
yeah, Zion's window is it's gone. Like he can
How?
still be, he can
like
still have a
22.
Hall of Fame career if he gets it. But like he's never gonna be the face. And then
Yeah.
Ja Morant just got to stop showing guns. That was the first thing I thought of when you said Ja and Zion. I was like, Ja got guns, and he ain't even been seen with a gun in like 2 years. And I'm a brother.
I mean, I think Zion's thing. I think he missed the window. I think, like you said, he could still be great. The thing with Ja, we never have to question about him playing basketball or like wanting to play basketball or anything like that. So I still think he has the opportunity to, because like everybody still loves to watch him play, and when he does play, I don't know if you think about it, Jesse, but they're usually in the ring conversation. Maybe I'm going too far, but I feel like they're in the conversation when he plays.
We need a new super team so we can have a new face. That's all.
Yeah.
We need
I
a young super team.
I think we're gonna be that low, like you said, because it's until somebody knock Denver off. That's literally we're just gonna be sitting here looking at
Tatum-
Joker, being like, I
Tatum
don't
got
like
the keys. He got the keys. Can he get to the door and open it up?
through
Can I
the
ask
East.
you
Yeah,
something? Can I
Boston
throw
I
another?
know
Get the
Nolan don't want to hear
deepest
that through the East. Yeah,
I don't like it either, but that's the truth, in my opinion.
We said, wait, who did you say?
Tatum got the keys to the door. Just can he open that thing, man? He Celtics got the deepest team right now.
No,
Not the deepest, but the best.
I'll give you that. If they can get through this year and get a ring, I think he'd have to be there. and-
I'm telling y'all who it's gonna be. It's Cooper Flag. Remember I said that.
Man,
Oh my god.
bro,
Trey,
it is too early to be saying that about
Yeah.
him, bro.
Trey.
No.
Trey,
Here, hold on. Let me finish.
Go.
All right.
Y'all all need 10 seconds. He gonna get the run up like Zion did in college with Duke. If he's able to actually produce in college, they're gonna try to make him the next guy. I'm not saying he deserves it. They're gonna try to make him the next guy.
The reason I'm
All
saying he's
right.
not gonna do that is we ain't seen nothing like a Zion that big and jumping like that. Cooper Flag might be a great player, but we done seen other guys that could dribble, pass, and shoot at his size.
He has, but you ain't seen a white guy do it, American white guy. That's why.
Trey, can I say
love
something
you.
real quick?
You go, Trey.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
want
go
to
ahead.
one for Trey. Trey funny.
Can I? Do you think Cooper Flag is better than Paolo right now?
No.
They both went to Duke. They're both going to go to Duke. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying Cooper Flag won't be great. The problem is, if I ask y'all who would you rather want to see play, Jason Tatum or Anthony Edwards, everybody in here is going to say Ant Edwards, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's because Ant
Tatum
Edwards is just more
better,
exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Tatum might be the better player today at this moment. Like, probably
Yeah.
is, actually. It's probably not even really
Yeah.
debatable. But, like, the Cooper Flag thing, he may be better than Zion. But what Zion and Ja do is they make y'all turn on the TV. That's what we trying to get. Like, we trying to get folks to make us, like, turn on the TV and, like, watch. And I just think that, I don't know if you've seen more Cooper Flag than me, Trey. So I don't know if I've seen nothing in Cooper Flag's game that makes me excited besides he's just a white boy that can shoot and he's talking trash.
That's all you need. Man, listen, it's like Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow's not the best rapper alive, but he gets a lot of publicity just because he's a good or decent white rapper. I feel like Cooper Flag is gonna.
Trey, you may be honest on the boy because mess around, he goes to the Spurs, it's game over.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. We gonna be mad. We gonna be like, man, he don't deserve it, but that's what's gonna happen.
What
Hey,
about
Nolan?
What about
If
Wemby?
this,
That's what I'm saying. Wemby's already there.
No, but I'm just saying from Trey's standpoint, like if you can put him on a team where there's talent and they can produce, and he's out here doing a second man, they'll make him look like a first man.
I
They
got you.
will. That's all I'm saying.
Question.
Listen, you can say what you want, but 60% of the population and 70% of the population is white. So
And
like,
boy, I'm trying to tell you, I see Reed Shepard at them Kentucky games. Them white people love when he
But
scores.
I'm trying to
He
tell
dropped
you,
he
bro,
dropped
like
39 the other game, Nolan. The whole air they still talking about him. The next game he only dropped 12 points. They still talking about that 39 points. They talk about his daddy. They talk about his mama. They wonder why because he white.
Okay.
No black person can compete with that.
Listen, my only thing is, if you're going to be one of the faces of the league, if you're the face of the league, you got to do something that like really excites us and makes us want to
Nolan.
watch you play. It's not just that you playing great. Like that's what
Nolan.
Ja has, that type of
have
stuff.
you
Like
seen Austin Reeves, Nolan?
Wait.
Have you
Before
seen
that,
the
Trey,
hype he gets?
Trey, I got
No,
something
I
for
agree.
Nolan.
Okay, go ahead.
Nolan.
Mhm.
If you broke it down by demographics, who would be the demographic at the arena to watch these games? The primary at the arena.
It'd be more white people at the arena.
So let's add another thing.
Okay.
If you got a decent white person and they winning, you think these white people not gonna go crazy?
I'm not saying that they're not gonna go crazy.
Nolan.
I'm not
Nolan.
disagreeing.
So with that being said,
Mhm.
who's owning the TV networks that are making the replays and getting the content out for people to view? What demographic would it be?
You got it. The white people.
So I love everybody. We all, I think equal people. But if certain people got control, it's not too hard to make a narrative. That's all I'm trying to say. I see where Trey's at.
I don't disagree with y'all saying. I just think what you're saying makes sense, and it could end up being true. I don't think it would roll the way y'all thinking that it would. I know it makes sense on paper, but I just think you have to have some type of flair to your game, and maybe he does have flair to the game that I just haven't seen. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
I mean, he talked trash.
Bro, don't nobody care
Trey just
about it.
To
over.
high schoolers.
I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie
like-
though, Trey. You on something right now, but I think you could be on something good at the same time.
I don't know. I just think that it's got to be some type of excitement level that you bring into the game.
He
something
dunked
that
on
you
one person
doing.
game one. No one joined the bandwagon. That's all it is. He needs to be doing it.
Maybe I gotta see him. You're right. Maybe I just gotta see him. But like, I don't see nothing. Look. Caitlin Clark is gonna be bigger than anybody. Like, I mean, just because of how she's playing too. Like, I mean, yeah, we could talk about the demographics, but she's shooting from the
That's
logo.
the primary thing.
She's also shooting from the logo.
No, I ain't never watched no college women's game this year, and I don't even think she's my favorite one to see. All I want to hear about it.
But if it was
Angel
okay,
Reese and
but
people
if it wasn't
watching.
Caitlin Clark, who would be the second face? It'd be Angel Reese, and she don't do nothing but shoot floaters. So
And
why
miss
she big?
layups. Because I'll be watching
I don't watch
LSU
no
women
games.
play.
Here you go, JP.
I'm
Ooh,
just saying,
he may be the best one.
Like-
Tell us.
Asia Wilson is cold. Like, Asia Wilson actually has a full post game and all that stuff. Angel Reese, I'm not saying she doesn't have that. She won't ever get that. But as of this moment, she's just being big in there. Like, that's what she's doing. Like, that's how she's scoring.
Social media changed this game up.
You tell us, JP, because you closer to it. I know you watch them, so you tell us.
No, like she just brings the energy that people like to watch. Women get aggressive, and she bats her eyes and like be making the faces that are good for like memes and stuff. And if she ends up with like 20 points and 10 rebounds, and the team wins. So when it comes to Angel Reese and then Caitlin Clark, I mean, we talked about this a little before the pod. We was talking about like the upcoming, like would you want that to stay in college and get all the extra NIL money versus going to the WNBA?
Yeah, but if I'm her, I get she made that decision. I mean, she could actually go play with Indiana, and they actually would have a squad if they have her with Aaliyah Boston for last year. So I get it. But yeah, y'all right. She's making a bunch of bread. But I wanted to bring up though, because we kind of touched on it. What about Wemby being the face? I know he's international, Trey, but like he's a unicorn, something we haven't ever seen. And he seemed like he also has a personality where he wants to be that guy. Now they gotta obviously get a roster and win, but I'm saying like, couldn't he be the guy?
No, I don't. Listen, it's going to be hard to get an international person to be the face. It's like if we went to the Chinese basketball league and we had some superstar out there, it's reasonable to believe that they wouldn't even be the face. Why? Because they're not Chinese. I don't know. I don't understand
America's more of a melting pot of cultures, though. It's not China where like it's most of the people in China are Chinese.
And I would agree with you. That's a good point. But I'm just saying that Americans, regardless of what you want to say, we like to support other Americans. regardless of how we feel about it. And I just think that Wemby, it's another hurdle he would have to get over. I'm not saying that he can't do it, but I'm just saying if you have somebody, Anthony Edwards, in that same position, even though he might not be quite as good as Wemby, and even though he's not something unique like Wemby is, that's one less hurdle Anthony Edwards has to get over. So I think that the push would be for somebody that's a more, or that is American, I should say.
And also too with Wemby, look, he not like Luka or Jokic. He out here listening to hip hop music. He wearing the shiesty mask. Like he really like is on like his full steez out here. Jesse, I want to ask you this though. With the whole face of the NBA and who is it and this and that, what would be like? I guess I don't know what the difference would be, because Trey's talking about it internationally. Do you think it matters? And Trey also talks about the markets. Do you think it would matter if even if you don't want to use Cooper Flag, whoever guy you want to use, would it matter or make a bigger difference if they played in New York or LA or one of these bigger markets, or if they're good enough and that guy and they're winning, they would still be the face?
I think that this is a bunch of crap, because we have face of the league that people don't want to accept because they're not American. Because Giannis is the toughest dude out. Jokic, the toughest dude out. The only reason Jokic didn't get 3 in a row for MVPs is because the Americans out here complaining and saying, "Oh, we gonna say he better than this person. We gonna say he better than that person." So they gave it to Embiid. Now Embiid probably should have won a year before, but I'll be honest, that man Jokic, I didn't watch him play, and that's why I watched him play. I was like, oh, he like that. Like people, Americans just they're funny. We are funny. We are a funny people, because you don't want to accept what is there, and you want to find a way to get what you want, to meet what you think is right. But the face of the league is Giannis and Jokic. Then you got your Luka. But Giannis and Jokic are the only ones that got MVP and a ring. Shoot, Giannis got Defensive Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. Jokic hit back-to-back, almost hit a three-peat for MVPs. It's like, what more can they do for y'all to accept them? Be American? Put on a mask?
Yeah.
Listen to hip-hop?
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Hip-hop is
hip-hop
going down.
Get the citizenship, play for our Olympic team. I'll do it all day. Take the test. You've been living here a while long enough to pass it.
Y'all tripping.
I mean, no, but that's just the truth. Like, that's how it is. Like, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm just telling you that's how it is.
It's crap.
I think the reason Embiid getting a little bit more popular is because he's gonna play for the American Olympic team.
For real, it's crap.
It might be, but it's what it is.
Yeah,
like,
it is. I'm accepting it. I let it be known that it's crap.
But yeah, we got a lot more to get into. But I want to thank everybody for joining us once again. We took over with a ton of topics. We got a lot to bring JP and Jesse back with. We didn't even really touch on what's really going on in the league. So we're going to have to bring you guys back on soon. We're going to talk about the USA team. We've talked about it in our group chats about who we think will make the USA team. So we're going to have to talk about that at a certain point too. We're going to also bring them back for the NCAA tournament. So thank you guys both for popping on with us again. And we got to do it again for sure. And I'll swing it to Trey.
Again, like you said, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We really do appreciate it. Check us out on all the major platforms. I hope everybody has a great week. But until then, peace.